Oh shit, there are people here. I'm paying attention. My bad. What's going on? Dude, I've been like binge watching that Ground Pounder put me on to some quality content. Oh, first, shout out to all the members, all the new members. Check out what DJ Leslie sent me. Stoked. There's a pair of them. So actually I have two. So I'm gonna keep one out here. Throw one in the truck. But yeah. Never even used a ratchet scrunch before, but it just seems like it would be very useful and efficient. So yeah. What up, tooling around? What's up, Peter? I'm heaven. Okay. Actually, I need to move this. That's where I can't read your comment when it gets on that white. I just can't read it at all. Also, let me plug this in real quick. The other day when we did that live feed, and I said, let me plug up my phone, and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to turn the power cord on. No, I didn't. It was on. I went over and shut it off, and yeah. The live feed ended because my phone went dead. So, yeah, I was just sitting around thinking, I mean, there's been, if you haven't got a chance to catch it yet, Educated Climber put out a video recently. But I don't know if he like shut the comments off or what. But I tried to, I was going to leave a comment, but it wouldn't let me. So, but he was talking, more talk about the industry. And he says there isn't an industry. Like, for something I could use to not have to go get any cool. Oh, this will work. Okay. So, yeah, he was talking about, he's like, you know, there isn't an industry. He said something about being in the water and getting the motion sickness or being on a boat or something. I don't know nothing about this. I have to agree. I mean, the guy's trying to convince you that we're all a team, like, and we all need to be part of, like, TCIA. Let's all be buddies and follow the same rules, and like, those are the dorks that have nothing to do with the actual job, couldn't do it if they had to, just ding-dongs, but they're envious because, you know, they may work in it in some way, and when they go home, they tell their wife about it, and she's like, well, I wish that's what you did instead of doing the income taxes for the company. You're like, or like Nick Bonner. That dude. He's a LARPer. Let's be real. That guy LARPs as a tree guy. He don't know nothing. Like, those dorky dudes, those type of guys, have been trying to be part of the industry since they first seen it. They even, think about this, They even went to the extent, oh yeah, what I'm messing with here is the GB Tether. I'm switching out this one for this one because this one, my gusset has worn out, and so I'm having troubles with it. But I'll show you it as I go. So this one has get that out. I'll take both of these off and then show you. But this one is set up for a hitch climber, and that one was set up for the zigzag. And I want to use the zigzag, but I don't want to use DRT because I was gonna say I'm a man, but DRT is not girly. It's just like not efficient. Maybe I'm old. Let's do that. So I just don't want to use it DRT. So I'm going to set up this wrench on there. Another reason, come on, man. Another reason, which should be very obvious when I show you, is the color of the wrench. Okay? I don't want nobody to be looking at my setup and be like, is that the new Akimbo? And I'm like, no, it's not. So, I'm not trying to be associated to that thing at all. We got guys out here now, like Game of Trees. He's like backing that thing fully. And it's just the same thing. It's the same damn thing. He already bent it all up, like the tending thing, and I don't know. But homeboy, that dude turned 61 the other day. 61. I gotta get off his ass. Like, he's alright. I gotta stop being mean. Like, I gotta respect that. 61, still out there getting her done. I thought maybe he was like early 50s. I didn't know. 61? You old fart. And he's still getting it done. So, like, shout out to him. I hope I'm able to do that. That would be kind of sick. Probably not likely. I'm one of those burn the candle at both ends kind of guys. But, you know how that is. So, like I was saying, these dorks, the rainbow, whoever put the rainbow, Peter, that reminded me. These guys, they couldn't remove a tree unless it's in the middle of a damn field. They probably need someone to start their saw for them. But they like playing the part, dressing up. So I want you to think about this. Anybody remember back 4 or 5 years ago, and even before that, how popular climbing contests were? How, like, people would talk about them. Like, I would love to compete, this, that. It's not, I don't hear about it that much. And maybe that's on purpose. Maybe I purposely have got myself away from it. But those were started so that those dorks could feel good and, like, put themselves into the industry. Like, kind of be, like, they could be number one. Like, there's nothing about that is real tree work. Who can go up the rope the fastest? Lame. No. I was thinking about that today. That's dumb. I'm glad I never did that. If you have, cool. But the funny thing is those dorks that sit behind a desk come up with this idea. And it didn't take long for a couple real tree guys to come in and be like, oh yeah, well okay, we'll do it. And then they win. And then it's over. And then the dorks, now they do reviews on tools. Or to teach you how to tie a knot, or look at this new rope, or it's just, it's getting really hard to watch. Like Ground Pounder put me onto one, and a channel, and I feel like I'm being trolled by this guy. This guy almost does every single thing I talk about. Every single thing I talk about, he does. Down to calling the bar and chain a blade. So it's like he's ahead of everybody else because he actually knows what it's called, a blade. So that makes me kind of respect him a little bit on that level. But, yeah, kind of trippy. Like, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, is this guy trolling me, or... I don't know. Let me show you these real quick. So the reason I switched over, if you'll notice, the holder here is a bit smaller on this new version. But there was something going on with this thing, and it just wasn't working right. It was drifting and wasn't locking out correct, I didn't feel like. So I'm going to switch it out, see if this one feels a little bit better. But I mean, just in general, it looks a lot better with the setup. So yeah, I was going to do that. And I want to set it up here after I get all this swapped out. And then just switch the purple one back to where it is, it's actually set for hitch climber. So I used to have a third rope wrench that I won from Tree Stuff, maybe? That's before I knew Bonner was a dork. Let me show you these two. So if you look, do you see the gap in this? See how these gap out? That's to adjust for this attachment. Because if you look at the hitch climber, those don't need to be bowed out. They just use the natural width of the tether, which is a 1/4 inch, maybe a little over a quarter. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch, maybe 1/2 inch. Yeah, but yeah, it just doesn't. It gets close, but I don't want to start bending on stuff. So Greg made me some of these that will work perfect. We're gonna switch these out. This on here now. But yeah, those dorks, those are the guys that are inventing the new gadgets. And always sitting around trying to think of a way to tinker with something. Basically just remake something and upcharge it like crazy. And then they act like, well, I'm an important part of the industry. You can suck it. You are not. You make the industry difficult for everybody. You ain't helping nothing. I have a lanyard I made from KM3. I just hit me every day to make a lanyard. Yeah, tomorrow I get to, well, it may not be tomorrow, maybe the day after, but I got a new bull rope, so use that rigging tomorrow. That 1/2 inch all gear Husky bull rope that I always use. Just it's the same kind of bull rope, same company. It's just different size. But yeah, stoked to get to use that thing tomorrow. And then I get to finally use the rope that Lift sent me. The 3-strand. We have a big, nasty, like all decayed and fucked up maple tree that's right on a house. We're gonna pull it through their fence into the field. It's like best option I could think of for them. The problem is I don't trust the tree. It's been topped before, and so it's like I got to get up into the damn thing and make sure that I've got multiple stems wrapped up there, because when they've been topped before, they're always a bit stubbier and fat. Plus, I don't trust them unions where the new growth starts. The grain patterns never match up right, so you can have it fail. So I need to like wrap up, you know, when the tree goes up and it forks a bunch of times like that, and it's got a short stump. I kind of want to grab multiple and hold them together, then jack the tree over. Because the canopy is the tree is about as wide, not quite as wide, but it's close to as wide as it is tall. It's not the tallest tree, but it's stupid wide all over the place, and the entire trunk is just rotted. What diameter is KM3? That's no righty-tighty. Yeah, there he is. Alright. Let's get my pliers. Damn dog, he just can't handle it. He sees something, homie cannot stop barking. He just gets stuck on repeat. He's like a shitty CD player. I was poor, so I would get like a bad ow. Oh, I hate it when I use pliers that got wire snips on them. I always have my thumb there. Damn it. I always get shitty Walkmans, and like you couldn't even walk with it. It would skip. I have to go holler at my guy. He is not liking something out there. Just a second. Damn dog. Hey, shut up and lay down. Now. Lady cussed me. Oh, I got my fucking thumb good. Ouch. When you think enough to support my a wrench or a socket would be facts. Yeah, you're right. But I'm one of them guys that like sits outside and hand splits wood with my axe. When I own a like 14-ton wood splitter that's sitting out there. I about got my thumb again right there. It's ridiculous. Okay. Did I remember to put washers and everything? I better have. I think I did. Okay, so we got this one together. Yeah, you're right. And with the name tooling around, I figure you're double right. If anybody knows, it's gotta be you. I'm gonna double check this thing also. Since I got these out. We're tight. Ooh. A little half turn. Okay. I'll go ahead and set the zigzag up on it. Kind of feel it out, because I could instantly feel it with the other one. I don't know what was going on. Plus, I just had to do a bit of cleaning on the old zigzag. She was pretty gummed up with sap. And I don't want to talk about what I used because somebody's going to say, that's not good for her, you shouldn't. So, mind your own, I'm not telling you what I used. Okay. So, the way I usually run this, the problem being that, you know, you have your... Turn you guys a little bit, see. I can't tell you what I used. It's a secret. Definitely gas. It was gas. And an old glove. And then I usually spray them down afterwards with lube. So, let me see. The problem when you're dealing with these wrenches is in this and the quickie link is the pins. You can't get your thumb in there to get to them. So what you gotta do is there's like a technique to Greg's tether and getting these off. You gotta like use the tether itself, press it up to it to push these things down. Because you'll see after I get it hooked on here, you can't, it's in, and then you gotta hit all these buttons as it goes through these, but you can see now, every rope wrench should be like this too. Should be able to open it, it goes there, and you keep turning and watch. Click. See it jump over? So now it's enough room usually to go through the rope. But if I'd have left it in that first spot, it wouldn't have. That little spot where it clicks down is so that you can keep turning and get the pin out without having to push the button. Quickie links don't have that, which is a little weird. Seems a bit grabby. So this sets like that. I don't like a carabiner on it because oh, son of a bitch, where did that go? The hell? Oh. Okay. So I don't like a carabiner on it because if you look, click that. It still kind of will rotate, and it's big and kind of blocky there. So then this carabiner gets stuck up in this one, which then it's all weird. It kind of makes me wonder. I've thought about this before, and don't try it because it's probably not good. But I wondered if I could climb off of it like that instead of not using this. Just climbing off of it there, it probably would be fine. But I'm not going to. So I hate how big that is and how bulky, and it gets in a bind. Like it does, even though it's got those rubber gussets in there, it will twist eventually. I'm just not a fan. So if you look at how clean it ends up looking, Greg's the one that told me to start using the Quickie Link. But the Quickie Link sets up so nice. And then now you've got your tie-in spot, and then you've also got a slack tending spot. So especially if you're using like your lanyard over your shoulder, some of them clip-on spots like for the Rope Runner Pro is real little. This is big, bulk, like nice, where you can just clip into it, and plus it lays down kind of out of the way, which I like. So I do kind of gotta watch that though. I don't like. Yeah, well, that'll be it. We'll see if it works a little better than the last one did. Yeah, it's holding a lot better. I don't know what was up that day with the other one. Problem is you do get some setback to about right there. And it's not so much setback, like you just ease it into it and then your action is way better from then on. But I really like how it's got the curvature into it. So you have like a, almost like a handle to move your stuff up if you need. And my hands are actually, they're big enough even if it's engaged, I can reach up, push it down, and use, you know, both together. So if I'm limb walking and I don't want to do that, I can ease slack out like that too. I'm a fan of this. I got really used to it, used it for a long time, and then, like I was saying, something happened with my wrench, and like there's a rubber like gusset thing that sits here. Here's one without it on it, and here's one with it on it. This is an old one, but it's at an angle that's cut, and it sets onto it. This is what used to be there. He used to use a Carter pen right there to hold, but he went with the clamp now, which is really nice. Much nicer, holds it into place better. But you can see I've cut into that, and so the action is down too far. Like sets into it. Can you run a tending pulley on it? On the I guess I don't really. Yeah, I might as well do it. That's pretty chewed up. Maybe that's why. What happens is they wear out from tending it. When you rope walk up, it smashes this down into it to get it aligned so it would run, but then you're kind of pulling up on it from there. Well, here, which drops that down and mashes it into it. So they just have to be replaced after a while. I used that for a long time before I had an issue though. On a zigzag or other mechanical press, can you use this? Well, you don't have to. Are you talking about a slack tending pulley? Because it's got one built in, so you don't need one. You just there's a 3-in-1 where you could run this like I do the Gree, where you put, you know, a hand ascender up here and run a loop of rope through like a pulley or a prusik or off of a carabiner even, and then you give yourself a 3-to-1 so you can be pulling down on this strand, which will tend you up. So everything's built in to make it nice. It's just, they say you gotta use the chicane, but I'm not a fan of the ridiculous chicane or the cost of it. So I've always used Greg's tethers, and first I used them just on prusik cord and pulleys, and then moved on. Yeah, it's very nice. But I mean, it's just as nice to go ahead and set yourself up with, you know, your rope wrench, use like a micro pulley, and then some prusik, and it's just as nice. You probably end up with, depending on what knot you use, you may even have less setback, because with this you have to account for this engaging and the zigzag engaging. So you have setback of, okay, everything's up. So from there, zigzag catches, so that's a couple inches, and then your weight sets into the wrench, which is another couple inches. So the setback's not the best, but I also was thinking about, I think it would get knocked into there if I could run this up in here so it's not always smacking down on this the swivel that's on these. But yeah, I like the swivel on the zigzag. Yeah, I'll give it a shot tomorrow. We'll see. We got a goofy dead hard maple, so like tree goes up, there's a big dead section here with a big dead stop coming out, and then the two main leaders come off of it over the house. There's really nothing else to use, so I got to rig dead heavy off of dead. But yeah, it'll work. We'll make it work. We may have to like go into the back of the tree and like, since both these stems kind of go out like this one goes up, this one goes out towards the house, over the house and over the electric wire. So to rig back to this one, it has that dead section here below it, which I know it's nasty. So I think I'm going to do is run my rigging rope back here off of a small stem, then up to this, since it's kind of got a little bit of a lean this way, so that it'll pull backwards on it and cause compression into it. I'll show you as I get there and set it up. I have a hand ascender with, oh sweet, yeah, that thing's nice. Yeah, that's a cool setup. That 3-to-1, that would be a perfect setup for that. Especially, I've tried to say that for guys, when you're transferring or doing traverse from tree to tree, running your system, whether it's just a prusik, if it's nothing other than just a prusik and a micro pulley, run that off of a hand ascender that you can put and make a 3-to-1. Then you can take your foot and push down and move out. Or, not to mention, you're pulling down like from up here to get the rope instead of like pulling yourself and then tending the slack. It just makes it easier. Plus you get the mechanical advantage, which makes moving your weight easier. Yeah, and it's way simpler. You just move the hand ascender up, tend it. Your system moves up towards the hand ascender, then move the hand ascender up, tend it. And like I said, if tending is tough, you can hook the part of your system here down to your foot and use your foot weight and body weight to traverse yourself over too. It's a really good technique. You don't have to have a mechanical setup like a gree or anything. It's just once I got a hand extender and put a foot loop on it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's a great technique. That sit stand is very, very easy. And you don't, when you have the 3-to-1, you don't even really need the foot loop. You notice how you can actually just tend your weight, like how easy it is to tend your weight, as opposed to when you're trying to move up, you got to lift yourself up and then slide. Well, you don't have to do that with the 3-to-1. It makes everything way easier because you get the mechanical advantage and you're pulling down, which is pulling your system up. And it's just, you would be surprised how much easier it is to go up a rope when you just add a single pulley, give yourself that 3-to-1, and you get the leverage from pulling above your shoulders down as opposed to, from your shoulders to your hips. You pull from there to there is so much easier. Dinner time, yo. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yeah, I was just doing a short one here. I figured I would stop in here while I was looking at this. And then the competition climbing thing popped into my head. And I'm like, so many dorks. That's the problem. It's became a fad that like guys cosplay doing this now. And then I also just watched a video from I don't even know what this guy's name is. Something logging. But he's the old gray-haired guy that made the video where he said there is no such thing as a gullet. And he was real articulate with the way he did it and explained it. I like that guy. Until I watched his last video, and then I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're a dork. He decided that he was gonna get his saw pinched so he could show you super cool techniques on how not to get your saw pinched or something. And it proves that thing where guys will sit there and tell you, well, if you look at this tree, he's like, I'm going to use this tree because it's perfect. I'm going to put my notch to face it this way, but it technically goes back this way. So what's going to happen is it's going to pinch my saw. It didn't pinch a saw at all. It instantly left the stump and took off. Because you can't tell which way something's leaning? Really? Really? So, I don't know. That guy is embarrassing now, so he needs to get his shit together. There's a lot of cheese dick YouTube channels out there. I was thinking about it when I told you Ground Pounder showed me some content, and it's choice. I actually made a short from it. It was my last short I just put up. You gotta check that channel out. Like, it's worth a watch. It definitely is. I'm guaranteed to place Disney climbing. That would be the last place. Damn. Something doesn't have... What? Something here doesn't have a washer on it, because I have an extra one here for some reason. I think it's that one, right there. I'll put this one in, and then I definitely need to get that washer onto that. What's up, Long Quest? You've seen that channel I'm talking about. Homie, it just like I don't know. I know a lot of guys like him. There's those guys that get into tree work and they dive head first into it. And even though they don't know anything, it becomes their whole life and they love it so much. And they like, I don't know, this guy's been talking about how he's going to climb and how he started teaching people tricks for climbing. And like in the trick video, he did everything wrong. Every single thing in the video he did wrong. And he's like, that's how you do it. And it's just this wild, ignorant confidence, which I relate to, because I felt like I was a complete fool when I started posting videos. And like, thought I was the shit and realized, oh yeah, the guys that actually do know stuff, they don't much like me because I'm just a dork. Like, I know it's hard to believe, but I used to be a dork too. It was a long time ago. Haven't been a dork in a long time, but like, yeah. It's just facts though. So. Yeah, this guy is hilarious though. I feel like he may be trolling me, but I don't think he is. I think he just is so new to tree work that he does every single thing that I complain about. And he's you can tell he's learned it all from YouTube, from like social media, because it's everything he does kind of aggravates me, which at the same time entertains me and has got me to where I subscribed instantly. And so I'm curious to see what all keeps happening with him, where his channel goes. But what up, Buck? Yeah, nothing. I had to switch out this female rope wrench for one that's for boys, and that same thing goes for your akimbos, fellas. Yeah, I just had to switch it out. My gusset that's on it that keeps the head from dropping down too far and engaging, it was worn out. I need to switch it. So instead of switching it, I also realized, oh shit, what am I doing with my wife's rope wrench? So I decided to get one that's for people with testicles. And yeah, that's all I got now. I am gonna regret that I ever used these damn pliers on these when they're all stripped out eventually. Cry and moan about why are they all stripped out? Well, because you used a pair of like wire cutters to tighten them one day. Yeah, that's a GB tether. There it is there. All about descending? That's sick. I was so scared. Research climbing for like 6 months before I even attempted it. That's somebody who's smart and respects the danger. It's hilarious to see some of this stuff that gets posted. Like, this guy was so stinking confident about what he was about to show everybody, and he's showing the zigzag and hip thrusting, and like, everything he did was wrong. Like, if this is hilarious. Let me take this off. You can also, with this thing, it's really simple. You just flip it out of the way. Or with any kind of rope wrench, especially if you're running like a hitch climber pulley or something, and you want to go into DRT, you can take your rope wrench and fold it backwards and clip it in. Oh, my bad. No, to the stationary end. So, let me show you. So you're using your rope wrench, DRT, or SRT, pretend like it's just a prusik, whatever, And then you're like, okay, I want to go DRT. My foot all stuck in everything. I have to untie this stinking knot. Okay. So you end up with your zigzag, and then you want to go DRT on it. You can take, I'm just gonna connect you, and just take your wrench and hook it backwards onto your stationary end, like this, and clip in. So then now it's there, and you don't have to take it off, but you get all the action. It doesn't get in the way, and it's hooked up out of the way. And then if you get to where you're gonna go out on a long limb walk, you can unclip this, take your tail, anchor it to something there next to you, hook your wrench back on, and then make your limb walk SRT, so you get to keep all your progress and you don't got to move twice as much rope. Go on out, do your thing, and then on your way back in, you got all the advantages on the way out and back in for SRT. And then when you get back here, you can do the same thing again, undo, clip on, clip that back, and then you're to DRT. You guys are so quick you gotta show everything that's the superest, mostest, advancedest. And little tricks like that don't even get talked about. I think it was just enough. Probably, I mean, if it was made you safe, that's all that matters. At work. Oh, right on, Climber. That's cool. Thanks for stopping in. But yeah, that little trick is really nice with that. Yeah, I like it better with when you have the hitch climber pulley and Prusik. It works really good. And the reason you take it and clip it backwards is because this end isn't moving rope. When you go from SRT to DRT, you anchor it to the stationary end. So the rope wrench is actually doing nothing. It's just sitting there like your carabiner does to anchor the other end of your rope. It folds backwards, clips on really nice, and then it's just there. So now plus it kind of stays up out of the way. But yeah, you could technically clip to that with your carabiner. If we did this. Stupid. Hell with it. The knot I prefer anyway. That fucking thing will stay out of my fucking way. We use that fisherman knot because of the way it orientates that rope. You could dress it and get it much tighter and more snug so that it stays onto the carabiner real nice. But like I was saying, when you go to clip to this, you could just clip it to your hitch climber pulley section there, and then climbing. The wrench stays off to the side. Yeah. Oh, what up, Jeremiah? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those tricks you just don't know when you're gonna need them. There's just random times when they come in handy. I remember thinking that same thing about this trick the first time I ever seen it. I was like, when would I ever need that? And then it wasn't long after it where I'm like, I need to switch over to DRT. Maybe I stripped a tree out and there was just a pole left, and I didn't want to have to pull my tail up and make my SRT retrievable. I was like, oh shit. Well, I could just unclip and clip it to the back and go DRT down, and it was perfect. Worked very nice. Like, I've tried everything that you could think of for the most part, like with these setups. Like, you have no clue. I've done some goofy shit that no one should ever do. And I've had some things work out, but yeah. Weird stuff like this, that's not happening. You're not getting movement. It tends. Like on the way up, but you're moving twice as much rope. So why would you? There's just little things like that where I've tried tricks, and even though it seems like, oh, that's cool, it works for this one thing, I usually don't show it until I've used it for a while. And I'm like, oh no, that was dumb. I'm glad I didn't show that. There's more tricks that I'm glad I didn't show than tricks I have showed. Let's just say that. For me, I leave. Oh shit. For me, I leave more tail on the knot. yeah, not a bad idea. Usually with that setup, that's how I hook my rings up too, is with that fisherman knot. And then what happens is the rope, ends up aligning real nice, and like when it comes out of the knot and it's like going up by the rope, so you can take a little piece of tape and wrap it around real quick. Then you can tell if it's starting to slip or anything. Plus it keeps it held really nice to the side. But that's if you know that you're not going to need to untie it at some point. There's no need to do that. So I always remember after I struggled, yeah, it happens, man, it happens. But, that's why a lot of times, like, I get why people try stuff, like, at home and set things up. But you best believe, I do this for, like, real. So, like, I'm not like Sizemore. You'll see him when he sees something. A lot of his videos is like in his basement or like in his yard with ropes going everywhere because he's seen somebody do something. So he tries to impress by duplicating and gives no information, but then later on will like pretend like he's just, I don't know. I've got to use it multiple times before I ever feel comfortable, even a lot of times even showing it. I usually don't want to show anything until I'm sure, like, oh, that's, I don't want to get anybody hurt or just do something goofy that ends up getting someone hurt. All the way down to like wearing a hard hat. You think I wanted to wear a hard hat originally? Hell no. Every person I worked with for probably the first 3 to 4 years. Well, no, I'd say, so my dad, my whole life until I was probably 20, that was the first time I knew you were supposed to wear a hard hat. And I was like, oh, well, no one else wears it. But then I was like, but all my peers wear it, and it's like for safety, it's like a legit thing. Just because I spent, 10 years not doing it, doesn't mean I can like be dumb like TKP and be like, I don't need one, I got God. You got a fucking superiority complex. That's what you got. You're just ignorant. Then one day when a limb hits you, you're gonna be like, oh, what are you gonna do? You gonna stop believing in God when you get hit in the head with a limb one day? Because you're like, God, why didn't you make that limb not hit me? Dork. Oh, if you just got here, stoked on this too. My guy, DJ Leslie, hooked it up and sent me 2 of these. I'm so stoked. Rock climbing harness and a bicycle helmet. It's better than nothing. There's another dude that like wears a skateboard helmet. I mean, it's gonna protect your head. I mean, there's better ones for tree climbing, but I mean, when guys wear those old metal ones, maybe for some of them, it's so that they can look like a logger. But I mean, it's gonna work. It's gonna ricochet shit and bounce it to where it doesn't go through your skull. So. Must ego? Yeah. Start believing in gravity. Yeah. Yeah, facts. You can use a rock climbing harness, but if you get stuck, you will not survive as long as they reel. So, true. True, and it's gonna be limited on the accessories that are on it to be equipped to do, some tree work. I mean, but nowadays, every saddle used to come with a chainsaw holder, a little clip. And nowadays, saddles come out, and they're my Weaver saddle, my new one, the Stratus. It did not have a chainsaw holder. There's no clip for your chainsaw anywhere on that saddle. Like, I had to make one. Because nowadays, everyone accessorizes everything, and they've now taken things off of the saddle so that you then have to buy it so that it's equipped with the things that were on them 2 decades earlier. So I'm not a fan of I'm not part of the industry because they do a lot of fuck shit that I don't agree with, and I'm not. I just no. I don't think so. I just feel like that's kind of lame. Yeah, and we discussed this the other night, like how absolutely conceited do you need to be to feel like God should take every waking second, every day you go up to do the thing that you do to support your family, God has to watch you and protect you. You're his time. Let's just break it down. God's time isn't worth you putting. If this was the only one I had, I'd gladly look like this. Is this cool? Absolutely not. That makes it 10 times worse. The pink, breast cancer awareness. Like, I could probably lie and say that's what it's for. But, facts. I mean, if you want to be cute, you wear it. But, like, you think God doesn't have enough things to worry about and look over and, like, people to help, that instead of you doing this, that on my head, now I'm going to go do the thing I do. Instead, it's I don't know what heaven's number is, but hey, I'm going to work. Yeah, yeah, just make sure nothing falls on my head. No, no. If I was God, I would tell you to suck it. I don't think that. I think God would be okay with telling someone to suck it. Maybe not. I don't want to get not in trouble, but in hell for saying something like that. So I kind of take all that back, except for the part like, don't waste God's time. You're lazy, stubborn, and just have too big of an ego to change a simple little thing like wearing a helmet. And it's beyond. If you were a person that's like, I can't do it, I got sensitive scalp, I just can't, it hurts. But this sumbitch wears a damn ball cap every fucking day, looking like this. Or TKP, I gotta wear my ball cap. No, no. You're old, senile, and dumb. And it's rude as hell for you to expect God to watch after you every damn day. Like he ain't got better shit to do. Facts. I got twice as good. Yeah, they make a lot of tree climbing saddles, man. And usually, like, in some of the rock climbing, there's crossover. There is crossover. One of my favorite devices, which a lot of people think it's weird, is the Gree. That is a rock climbing device. But I've used it many times to ascend a tree, to descend, to do small climbs, like transfers. It's a perfect secondary tie-in, especially when you're doing spar work, because it has the littlest setback and allows you, when you're choked off, to get your hips the closest out of any device, even more than a Rope Runner Pro. So it's like, but there is a technique to those devices that work off like a loaded cam. I hear some guys say that they can't figure out the akimbo. And I think the reason for that is, with a loaded cam, your weight actually locks it. So when you're pushing down on the device, it's relieving the cam. And that's how you start to move. So I don't know if this really makes sense to anybody when I say it, but have you ever been able to, like, when you're in your saddle, you kind of take your weight out of your saddle and kind of put it, I don't even know how to explain it. You know how you can really just sit down into it and all your weight's like in your hips. You just kind of relieve your weight out of your hips a little bit, and then when you're using a loaded cam, you can get movement much smoother. But if you're sitting heavy into it, and the Gree's notorious for this, and you go to relieve that cam, you drop, like, and it's real jerky. So I think anytime you're using a device that's got a loaded cam, there's this way of like releasing your weight from your hips and like down into your legs and into your upper body that allows that device to work smoother. And I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but to me it does. I'm a 32 to 34. I have some Eldred slings, really nice. Yeah, most things from Eldred are very nice. That's my my clip that I use for my Rope Runner Pro is Eldred, and it's beautiful. It's got that locking. It's more of a, it's an egg shaped, but kind of more square than egg. And it's also got the gate right there, so it like keeps locked into the device to where you actually have to open that gate and then I think slide a button down to get it to open. So it's like triple locking in the weirdest way, which I like. because I don't want my anchor carabiner to be easily opened. Is it the OG, the 2.0? It pinches me. I want another pencil Sequoia. Dude, I would say check, like, don't sleep on the Stratus. I'm telling you, that saddle from Weaver is very, very good. I think I may have the shits on here. At least I did at one point. Sometimes it trips me out. These magazines over here, when I start to think like I should throw that shit away, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm actually in that magazine. That's wild. Oh, here it is. So here's the Stratus. Such a good saddle. So lightweight, and like, see this honeycombing stuff that's back in the background? That's what most of it's made out of. It's like a hard composite that's into the back and into the leg pads, but it's insanely light. Crazy light. Has the option for a double bridge. I instantly ended up going with a double bridge because I just didn't, the main bridge just to me looked a little small. So I was like, I don't know about that. So I put another bridge into it, and then so I guess I could have left that alone and had lower D's to hook into, but I didn't care. I don't ever feel the need to use the lower D's, but yeah, shows you everything to put that together. I just was hoping there was just a good picture of the saddle in general. But you can see how many accessory, every spot on the back here is an accessory loop. Then you actually have accessory loops on the back of the legs too. Like down on the back of the legs, there's a whole bunch of loops. There's loops there, loops all the way there, and then it's set up for your 4-strap suspenders. Plus, it has those main loops. I don't know if you can really see them, the ones that hang down back here. It has all those loops too along the back. Plus, it's kind of a high back. If you notice how high that sits, so like there's like hip height there, and then you get all the way up to here, kind of a bit high onto the back, which I liked. And it's just crazy light. It's very, very light. It's got elastic bungees for the leg straps. Yeah, and if you're a size 32, that's a bummer size to be, because I would say go with a medium, and you're going to be at the far end on a medium. I went with a large, and I'm like a 32, 33, and I ended up having a whole bunch of strap left on every setting, to the point that instead of cutting the strap, I just sewed it together, like doubled it and tripled it, and then sewed it together and hid it all throughout the saddle. I have to show it one day a little, since I've had it. Show you how it's holding up. Yeah, it is very simple with the way it's set up, but comfortable at the same time. I've really been impressed with it. It's been even better than I expected. I didn't really think, I had concerns that I would want to go back to the Cougar when I got it, because the Cougar was just so comfortable and simple, and I had it so customized. And the D-rings was one thing about that I worried about, because they're just rings, solid rings, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. but I like it a lot. I like how they're held out here. They're so much easier to get to with, like, when I'm going to clip in, they're not so floppy like the other saddles I've had. I'm a 32. Shit. Yeah, so on a 32, I would say you'd be a medium, and you'll be extended all the way out on a medium, probably. Maybe not all the way out, but I know on a large, I had to take mine and bring it all the way in. So as long as you're okay with doing that, you can do that. You'll end up with a lot of strap and like stuff left over that you'll have to like just hide, like I did. Like on the legs, when you bring that buckle together all the way, there's some extra. So I just like doubled it and tripled it, and then I sewed all that wad together so it's like hidden out of the way. I'll show it one day. I'm gonna get a medium. There you go. You won't have a bunch of that's that middle ground thing though. It's like with a medium, hopefully you don't get any your waist get any bigger, because with a medium you're extended all the way out on it. I think, from what I've been told. I'm pretty sure with a medium you're extended all the way out. So if you do get any bigger, you have nowhere to go with it. When with a large, you have that excess straps, but you have all this adjustability. Like, I can get fat if I want, but yeah. Camp make good products. Their ascenders are nice. I know they have their chest harnesses. They make climbing devices, I believe. I think there's a camp climbing device too. So, well, I think I'm probably done for the night, guys. I got some shit I gotta do, a little bit of paperwork, and charge batteries so that I can film that tomorrow. But yeah, I just released my video, my newest video on members. That was like a 40-something minute video. I hate making those long videos. I really do. I really, really hate making those long videos, because they're so they take forever, and they're like, it's hard to keep someone's attention for that amount of time, and like, so I did my best that I could with it. It's also different than what I normally do. I don't do pine trees, and I was doing pine trees, and so I showed some tricks for not getting your ropes all sappy when you're doing pine trees, and there's some other stuff. I don't even remember what all was in it. It took me too long to make that video, so I apologize to all my members that I haven't been putting out videos as much as I should have been. But I'll start kicking them out now, and as long as I don't have a stupid one that I have too. I hate long videos. All right, I said. I'll catch you guys later. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Stay safe, and more likely I'll see you Saturday. Thanks for hanging out.